Welcome to Time Turner Thursdays, a special feature of Hogwarts Radio that revisits some of our more popular episodes over the past 10 years. Episode 128 was released on April 6, 2013, and features a few guests from our friends over at MuggleNet's Alohomora podcast. The group discusses a variety of news stories and pays tribute to the passing of Richard Griffiths. Kat and Eric beta test Pottermore's PlayStation Network game and talk about the possibility of this being the first open-world experience for fans of the series. Also, the panel breaks down, in-depth, differences between hexes, charms, jinxes, spells, and curses. What are some of our favorites? Tune in to find out. We hope you have as much fun re-listening and revisiting some of these older episodes as we had recording them. Thank you for your continued support of our podcast. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. This is our 128th edition of our Harry Potter podcast. 128 episodes. I feel old. Eric, you're just sitting there with the smug smirk.
I will remain silent.
Huh?
No, I'll let you have this moment, Terrence. 128. That's cute. That's really cute.
Eric,
but
how many episodes have you recorded?
Only twice as many. But I'm happy to be here. Happy to be back on Hogwarts Radio. It's been a little while since I've been on here. And what was that voice I heard? Who asked me a question?
That was Noah Freed.
Noah Freed?
Yeah. I've only recorded.
I don't podcast with him. In fact, that's because I'm not legally entitled to do so. And Mr. Freed actually filed a restraining order on me.
I've only become legally eligible to podcast anyway, so I'm really there's an age of consent with these sort of things.
But yes,
I consent to be here
on this show. For some reason, I believe that.
But yeah, we're joined by a couple of guests in addition to the regular cast. Of course, you've heard Eric, and we have Marissa on the panel here today. Hi, Marissa.
Ahoy.
Ahoy. Chips ahoy.
Yeah.
Chips ahoy. That sounds good.
No, just regular.
Yeah, I was gonna say you don't have Chips Ahoy too, do you? We were sitting in the pre-show watching or listening to Marissa eat her dinner.
Hey, it was a fantastic salad. I'm just gonna say, you guys, I should get paid for that salad.
And we also have some special guests, our friends from Alohomora, and I'm going to say family members from MuggleNet are joining us here. Kat Miller, and of course you heard Noah. How you guys doing today?
Hi, thanks for having us on. I'm super excited.
Yeah, me too. It's been a while since we've had guests, and you know what? It's been a while since we've had three guys on the panel.
Is that right?
It's been a while since we've had guys on the panel.
Yeah,
period.
just in general, right, Marissa? Yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun here today, and we're going to catch everybody up with the past week's top Harry Potter news stories. A couple of weeks ago, we told you that Madame Tussauds in London was going to unveil a new wax figure, Emma Watson, in their showroom.
Last week, Terrence, not to cut in, isn't it Madame Tussauds?
Tussauds. I don't know. Tussauds.
Tussauds. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out. Anyway, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Noah likes to interrupt.
Not Leviosa.
It's Tussauds, not Tussauds.
Honestly.
What we're not doing with toe sods, honestly.
Toe sods. Oh. There you go.
Toe socks, what?
Toe socks.
What exactly is Emma getting into here?
I know.
Well, Madame Toe Socks.
Well, last week they did unveil her wax figure. Emma's figure, which is wearing the Ellie Saab dress that she wore to the 2011 Lancome VIP dinner in Hong Kong. And she's seated on a chaise lounge to allow fans to sit and be photographed next to her. So I was looking at some of the pictures that we have up on MuggleNet, and at first it didn't look like her. And it still doesn't look like her to me. I wanted to get your guys' reaction and see what you thought of the figure.
Well, have you been to Madame Tussauds ever?
Yeah, they have one here in Texas.
What I found interesting about them is that actually most of the time the wax figures tend to look better in the photographs. I think they're designed in such a way that a digital lens or something seems to somehow capture it better than obviously if maybe it doesn't stand the test of being 2 inches away. But then other times maybe they look more real than they do on a camera.
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of their figures that look really lifelike and really realistic. But this one of Emma, I don't know. I wasn't getting that good vibe from it. I mean, it looks beautiful. Don't get me wrong.
No, I completely agree.
Well, it's Emma.
Terrence. No, but when a normal person sees a picture of Emma, your heart kind of leaps. You have that weird feeling in your belly. I didn't get this with the wax statue. It just wasn't her.
I got the weird feeling in my belly, but maybe that's because I just didn't have dinner yet.
Right. No, I think it actually looks remarkably like her, and I think it's leaps and bounds better than Dan Rad's. So.
Oh God, you had to point that out. Yeah, look at Dan Rad's, everybody.
It might have been a while since I've seen his, but what?
It's bad.
What's wrong with his?
See,
his is really wrinkly. It kind of looks like his skin is melting off his face.
maybe fans have hugged him a little bit too much.
Dan Rad's melting. He's made of wax. He's melting.
See, but that's kind of like the vibe I get from Emma's. I mean, his okay. I just looked it up. I just Googled it, and it doesn't look terribly bad. But it really, at the same time, it doesn't look like him to me.
Yeah, I think wax figures in general make everyone look older. Because Emma looks about 40 in hers. I mean, It still looks great, but she looks 40.
Right.
40?
She looks old.
I gotta look this up again.
Well, I'm not gonna say 30 because then I'd be dissing myself because I'm 30. So I'm gonna say 40.
So to all of our 40-year-old listeners out there.
No, I guess she kind of looks like Tina Fey in a way.
Oh, that's a major diss.
Oh,
Why
I can
is that
see
a diss?
that. I can see that.
You can see that?
Just put glasses on her.
Yeah, I'm gonna Photoshop glasses on this Emma Watson, and then you'll think it's Tina Fey. No, I think the thing of it is, whoever the artists are that are working with her, they're trying to capture. It's probably based on one image in particular, and that image probably involves her at the Lancome Awards, to be honest. But there's a kind of universality they have to capture and make these. I guess they give these wax figures certain elements that make them have a more broad appeal. They're supposed to still be recognizable, obviously, but I don't know. I think little quirks about them, like for instance, Dan's jawline is not particularly accurate to what we're used to seeing. But I don't know. Maybe in 5 years he'll grow into it. I have no idea.
I don't know, Eric. Maybe Emma was just having a bad hair day at the Lancome Awards, or just sort of having an ugly.
So it's her hair.
No, she looked amazing at the Lancome Awards.
She did.
So you don't like her hair? No, is that what you're saying?
Just the entire appearance in general. Like it's not doing it for me. I mean, I can see the appeal of the wax statue. You can go on a date with this Emma, and she doesn't shy away. It's a little bit easier.
I feel like it may be something with the lighting too, because the lighting that she's under looks really dark.
Yeah,
like in the thing. So
she might look more like. I found an overexposed image of her here. See if you guys like her better in this one.
I'm going to London in a couple months, so I'll visit her and let you know.
Yeah, you are going to London in a couple months.
But
all right.
But see, with this, it's like also their facial expressions. See, I feel like Emma wouldn't just be having this kind of small smile whenever Emma smiles.
You only get one. That's the other thing. You only get one.
Right.
And maybe if they show teeth, the teeth don't look. Maybe they start to melt. They don't look as good after a couple years. I wonder if all the other figures have closed mouths and things like that.
Yeah, I see that picture that you sent, Eric, and essentially it's the same picture. She's sitting on the chaise lounger.
I think it looks more like her in this picture though, from this angle maybe.
Yeah, it does.
I think she has a really long neck in this picture.
That would be the shadow of her jawline.
Yeah,
photographer speaking here. That's definitely the shadow and the angle of the jawline.
That said, she does look like one of those long necks out of The Land Before Time.
Oh my God, Noah!
It's a tree star.
Oh Lord!
No, but I don't know. Madame Tussauds is a fun experience. You do get because essentially the whole thing plays like you're in a house of celebs. Like you've been invited to a VIP party where all these people are there, and the fact that you can sit next to Emma is more accessible. I like. The only thing I remember doing when I was there in London last time was I stood on a podium in between Tony Blair and George W. Bush. And maybe I got one next to Tom Cruise as well. But yeah, it plays like that. So I really do want to see, if any of our listeners can send in photos of them next to Emma or Kat when you go in a few months. Take a picture with Emma, even if it doesn't look like Emma.
Whatever she is.
Yeah. Whoever this is on this chair,
Take a picture.
Go take a picture.
Guys, I'm
Yeah,
gonna find the real Emma and make her go with me and stand next to that one. How's that?
There you go. You're invited. You're courting trouble. Madame Tussauds is going to disown this show.
Then you know what? Then I will be there right alongside with you if that happens.
I'll shoot you an email. I'll let you know.
Great.
Half the men on the planet, really.
So moving on to the next story here, a bit of sad news. Definitely on a more serious note, this is a very heavy story. Richard Griffiths, who played best known for his brilliant portrayal of Uncle Vernon in the Harry Potter series, died the other day at the age of 65. He had enjoyed an enormously successful and wide-ranging career in film, theater, and, of course, television. He started out with the Royal Shakespeare Company and went on to a number of television roles before becoming a fan favorite in the 87 British classic With Nail and I. In recent years, he headed back to the stage with roles in Alan Bennett's The History Boys and the 2007 revival of Equus with Daniel Radcliffe. He died of complications during heart surgery the other day. Just very, very piece of sad news. And a brilliant actor, and he leaves behind a pretty good legacy.
I really liked, Dan Radcliffe's words that he said about it, which of course is now the MuggleNet cover photo on Facebook, because it's such a touching, quote from Dan to have released. But in short, he says that Richard was by his side during two of the most important moments of his career. And he's, of course, speaking of, his first stage play, Equus, in which they starred in together. But even before that, he actually said that the first scene they shot for Potter that Radcliffe was in, it was alongside Richard Griffiths. I didn't know that, obviously, up until that point, but I think it's, really special and really important, and I'm glad that Radcliffe was able to release that statement fairly quickly, because I remember that he released that statement pretty quickly after it had been announced, instead of waiting around for a couple days, as sometimes they do out of respect. But it allowed us as the Harry Potter fans to kind of grieve, and also to appreciate, this man who maybe some people didn't see in any of his other work, besides Potter. Because, I actually did see him in The History Boys, which he's a great character. He plays a teacher, the professor, who's slightly eccentric, and he, teaches them that there are more important things like culture instead of just math and science and all that other stuff. So
yeah, it's a great movie.
He really cultures them. You guys seen him in anything else?
I saw him in Ballet Shoes with Emma Watson.
I forgot he was in that.
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't in it that much, but whenever he was, it was the first time that I had seen him outside of Potter, and got to see a little bit of range of his acting, and really grew to love him even more.
It's funny, you said I saw him in Ballet Shoes.
I was thinking that too. I was thinking, what was he doing?
He would appreciate that joke, I think.
There's been a couple of tweets and a couple of, releases from various members of the Potter cast. Warwick Davis says, "You got a great deal of support as an actor for having Richard about. He was lovely. He would always make time for his fans. That's what makes him a great actor. It's about having a good persona." Tom Felton said, "Very sad to hear about Richard Griffiths passing. Long may his work bring joy to the world. Great fun, great man." Emma Watson said, "Rest in peace, Richard Griffiths. He will be missed." How I found out about it, surprisingly, was from Chris Rankin. I saw him on Twitter. He put, "Rest in peace, Richard, Uncle Vernon Griffiths. What an awful shock. Such an amazing man and sublime actor. Was a pleasure to know him. Totally gutted." Just another one here from Ivana Lynch. And she says, "Cannot believe this news. It's such a terrible loss. Thank you for being a special part of the Potter family." So a few members of the Pottercast reacting to his passing.
I'm surprised that we haven't heard anything from Harry Melling yet.
Yeah. And I remember talking to you about that, Kat, on the day it happened. Him and Daniel Radcliffe are the first people that I thought of. And, of course, Fiona Shaw as well.
Yeah.
He was always a pretty bad son, as you'd remember.
Gosh.
Oh, jeez. That was a joke, though. That's funny.
That was a joke.
He would appreciate that, Noah.
I think you would. We just spoken with Harry Melling the previous week.
Yeah.
We did, and actually Claire from MuggleNet is at his play tonight in London doing reviews, so I think maybe she got a chance to speak to him about it at that point. So.
Oh, geez. Okay. Yeah, so stay tuned on MuggleNet for that particular quote. But
pretty much
in
anything,
general, guys, like
in general, just stay on MuggleNet.
Yeah, because we have an
time.
amazing tribute post as well about him. Check out some of the other reactions from other actors.
Thank you, Terrence, for gathering those.
No, that was on the post already, so you're most certainly welcome. Thank you, Claire.
Thank you, Claire.
But that was a really sad day.
He was in Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides.
Oh, he was. That's right.
He was?
Yeah,
I
he
saw
played
that
King
movie.
George.
Yes. I remember that.
I was looking on IMDb to see if there was anything else I'd seen him in. I was like, oh, I've seen that. I didn't realize it was him, though, I don't guess.
Yeah, he played. Yeah,
or maybe I
King
did
George.
at the time, but...
Yeah.
I'll tell
you guys, have any of you seen With Nell and I?
No, I haven't.
No.
I was told that this is like the film to see with him in it, but I haven't yet.
Is that the one where he plays Uncle Monty?
I think so.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
everybody keeps saying, my Uncle Monty, I'll miss my Uncle Monty.
Yeah, but I was like, no, it's Vernon.
Right.
Well, I feel like towards the end of his career, he was probably most identified for his portrayal of Uncle Vernon.
Oh, yeah.
By
Yeah.
kids. and stuff.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Probably his most famous role at the end of the day.
Yeah, similar to, I guess, Richard Harris. Even though Richard Harris had a long, illustrious career way before Potter, the new generation really saw him in Potter, and that was it.
I mean, to me, he is Dumbledore, even though he had countless other roles.
Did you see that some people were not tweeting on Sunday because they said no post on Sundays?
No post on Sundays, yeah.
I thought that was really sweet.
They ironically they tweeted that. They
tweeted it on Monday.
But that breaks my heart. That breaks my heart.
Yeah.
You had to go breaking my heart.
Should I bust
no
into
post
song?
on
I'm not going to.
Break your heart.
Don't go breaking my heart.
Read my mind, guys.
So for this next news story, guys, I'm going to turn it over to Eric, who's going to give you some flair.
And I'm going to turn it over to Kat.
Eric and Kat, both of you guys, because this is something that we have been waiting for and hoping, and they have been beta testing on the PlayStation Network, Pottermore, and it kind of looks like The Sims for Harry Potter. And you guys published a 4,000-word review and all that other stuff. I mean, there's just an 80 screenshots, so much stuff, and I wanted you guys to talk about it a little bit and your experience in playing this. Was it a game? Are there tasks you have to accomplish? Is it a world that you can roam around in?
It's freaking amazing. That's what it is. It's freaking amazing. Yeah, no, it's basically just a MMORG. Is that
MMORPG?
I wouldn't say I would call it an online experience.
Yeah,
there you
go.
Because you can't really level up. You can get items that you can accessorize your character. Basically, on PlayStation Home, you have an avatar, a character like a sim. Not unlike a sim, where it can look like you or look like anybody you want it to, and you can roam around. And currently, there's 2 environments. So it's Diagon Alley and the Hogwarts Express. And there are games that you can go into, and they're all multiplayer games. And so this is actually how Kat and I got started on this, because she needed somebody to go and join her, because we were beta testing, or she was beta testing Pottermore, but the games like book herding and card trading and what's the other one?
Pottermore quiz and dueling.
And dueling are all 2-player games, and so just talk about that for a moment, because Pottermore was very lonely for a while.
It was, yeah, it's great because, we have a great relationship at Sony over MuggleNet, so thank you, Sony, if you're listening. They gave us a code, and I got in there, and it was actually really amazing at first, because I'm the only one running through this virtual world. And then I realized I can't do anything, which I think is the kind of the heart and soul of this Pottermore experience, is that you're not meant to experience it alone. Like, nothing about magic, or I think Harry's story, is go at it alone. It's about, love and trust and support and all of that. So I think this Pottermore experience, after Eric joined me, just kind of exploded. It's amazing.
So,
well, I think you should give yourself some credit too, being the photographer that you are. At least no one was in your shot.
That is so true.
You didn't have to go around chatting people up, because I went around just today when it opened to the public and chatted people up, trying to get people together for a group photo, and nobody would, by the way. So we really have to get on MuggleNet and start coordinating something, because I don't know if people just don't know how chat works on the feature, or they couldn't type, or they couldn't see what I was typing. But I'm telling you now, that will never happen again. Where Diagon Alley is that empty,
never,
as it was when you and I got in, never.
Right.
And so we have a video. It hasn't been posted yet, and I think it's safe to post it. But it's just us running around where nobody else is and dancing in key moments, key areas of Pottermore. So, Kat, you haven't seen it yet. I'm going to send that over. I still can't figure out if I want to set it to music or not, because we're just being goofy, and this is what we did. This is what Kat and I were doing the whole time. We would just dance. We would be like, so do you want to go over to book herding? Sure, let's go down and like halfway through we just stop, and there'd be like the robot on Gringotts stairs. So
which we totally did.
This is
we
incredible.
Totally did.
We could get all the fans together who have the game, and we could go in and make meetups. We could stage wars within the game.
It's a flash mob.
Yeah.
Totally. Oh my god, a flash
seriously,
mob.
Let's actually
Eric,
do
that's
it.
brilliant.
Let's go on the Facebook page with all the followers. Hey, everybody, let's meet up at the Hog's Head, just like everybody. Or
there's no Hog's Head.
There is no Hog's Head.
All right, not Hog's Head.
Because there's no Hog's Meat.
Let's meet up in the field and dance.
No. How about at Florian Fortescue's? Because you can meet up there.
There you
get
go.
Oh, but that's so close to where people actually come in who are just entering for the first time. So I'd say Gringotts Stairs is kind of the most
okay,
open
that
area.
works too. Sure.
We're just gonna link it.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, go! There's a party on the stairs, and we can organize that.
It's going to go viral on YouTube.
I'm telling you, because it's so easy, because while you're in this experience, you can choose to do actions, and that includes sitting cross-legged on the floor, doing a bow,
We could do Harlem
posing.
Shake. We could do Harlem Shake on the Gringotts stairs.
Oh, that would be sick.
Wait, we
I
need
don't
to
think
do
that's
that.
one of the options. The options are a little bit more generic, except for Robot, which is pretty specific.
Wait, there's no Harlem Shake.
There's a rave, there's a disco, there's a rock and roll. I don't think at this point, Noah, maybe you should write a strongly worded letter to incorporate the Harlem Shake into
the Potter Shake.
PlayStation Home. Yes, but what else are we leaving out? So there are the games, which we can talk about, Kat, but I'm just saying the fun of this was interacting with each other, and
Totally.
I feel like, and I predicted this in the review of that we did. In our review, I said people are going to go to compartments on the Hogwarts train and literally just sit down and have a regular text chat conversation with each other on Pottermore while they're sitting in these compartments with the countryside out the window just going by. And I'm going to tell you, it happened today.
Well, of course it did.
That's
I mean,
amazing.
who
Wow.
doesn't want to sit on the Hogwarts Express and talk with their friends? Let's be honest.
Man, I love the future.
Yeah. I sat down with a girl, and I was like, hey, and she was like, hey, and I was in my Hufflepuff robes, and she was just in her, and it takes forever to type, so really we were just like, hey, for a real long time. But she was in her generic robes, and I had already purchased my, well, in this case I bought Gryffindor's, because in my other account that I linked with my actual Pottermore account, I'm Hufflepuff. So I got Gryffindor robes, but in the lighting of the train, they look like Hufflepuff, so she wrote, and she was like, so you're a Hufflepuff, huh? And I'm like, nope, Gryffindor! Exclamation point. She says, I'm going to be a Slytherin. And I said, that's a nice house.
That's great.
And then
And then
leave
she
that
said-
compartment.
No,
because-
literally, she said, please excuse me, and stood up and walked out the compartment door.
Wow.
That
Wow.
I was rejected on the Hogwarts Express. It was terrifying.
Well, check out the snack lady. She doesn't say. She's pretty easy.
There is no snack lady.
Not the
yet.
snack lady. The lady who's pushing the
The trolley?
The trolley, there
trolley,
isn't
yeah.
one. There isn't one.
Not yet.
Not yet.
So a couple of questions for you guys. One, is it really choppy, or is it smooth,
No.
fluidic? I mean, is it?
It's extremely smooth.
Oh, God.
Yeah, very smooth.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
it takes a little bit to download the worlds. Not too long. Maybe, I don't know, 30 seconds at the most. Because after you... So what you do is you place a Pottermore object in your PlayStation Home apartment.
Oh, not anymore.
Oh,
That
not
was only
anymore?
that was only the press access. So
Oh.
Yeah, actually now it's just like any other place that you can navigate to using the regular PlayStation Home navigator. It was as easy
cool.
as logging into PlayStation Home. I had already set up a character. You do need to set up a character before you can go anywhere in PlayStation Home. Any of the hub spaces, any of your own spaces that they give you for free, including the Doctor Who TARDIS room. Which Kat cannot wait to get off this podcast to go and achieve. But as soon as you get your character, you can literally just download it and immediately you're walking around. So it's not complicated at all. The press access was a little convoluted, but it was fun to do once. But now it's actually a lot easier to get to.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Guys, this is what Pottermore. This is what the fans wanted Pottermore to be.
This is what we said. This is what we were saying to each other.
Exactly.
Kat, how many times did we say this to each other?
I mean, countless.
Like, 3 million.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
this is exactly what Pottermore should have been from the beginning. Period.
But see, I mean, it's great to have that interactive reading companion because, for years, ever since Deathly Hallows ended, and we've been longing for another Potter book, and then we got Beetle Bard, yada, yada. I mean, we've been looking for something to get back to the books. And Pottermore, the original Pottermore, let us do that. And, I mean, it's something that's great if you're sitting there and reading along and different things like that. But people wanted a world, a physical world that you could create, that you could go into and interact with other Harry Potter fans. And this is something that we finally got.
Well, guys, this is giving me 2 big MuggleNet ideas that I will announce to everyone listening and to you guys. I think we should definitely arrange MuggleNet meetups within this game for users of this Pottermore experience. And then also, just in real life, we should just gather in major cities and do trivia or dating, whatever, but have people get together.
Dating?
Yeah, like speed dating. It could be Muggle speed dating, but that's sort of another idea. But we could definitely do it with this in-game experience, which is cool, and in real life, when we go to the big Harry Potter conventions, or if we're just around New York, you can just make a day.
Yeah.
But yes,
yeah.
Watch this space. Watch MuggleNet.com. We're going to organize some massive group dancings and meetups on the stairs. And Kat and I have to test yet if it is separated by region, because if you use your UK account and I'm in US, we should see if we can see each other.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
because
we'll
eventually
give that a
you
try.
have to believe that you just have to believe eventually that there will be literally too many people to fit in the game, and that they would create like another server or something.
Yeah, they're going to have to. I mean, because World of Warcraft, they have different servers and they use like different guilds and stuff like that for that. And I could see this expanding. I mean, exponentially.
Yeah.
People have multiple.
Well, they
characters
announced
and
it
stuff.
at like. They announced it at like 11:30 our time, I think it was, in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
And I think by 4 p.m. when I was home, there were already people running around with owls and scarves and all the things you actually like physically have to buy too. So they're definitely making a killing. But I will say that the experience is free. It's free. It's run through your internet connection and your PlayStation. So if you already have a PlayStation, and if you already have the internet,
A PlayStation 3.
Yes.
3.
PlayStation 3, yes.
So-
You need a PlayStation 3. When PlayStation 4 comes out, it'll also have the PlayStation Home Network. But in the meantime, you need a PlayStation 3 and an internet connection. And then if you do want to accessorize, you can buy a toad, you can buy a cat, you can buy an owl that will fly along behind you and then perch on your shoulder.
Wait, for real? That's what it does?
That's what it does. I know.
Purchase, boom. And I said in
Perch.
the review that I will not be spending money on a virtual pet, but if I can have an
Yes.
owl follow me around, I'm
It
all
follows
over
you
that.
around. It perches on your shoulder when you. Yes, I'm telling you, it's awesome. You can go in and see other people with the pets, in case you're wondering.
So, guys, what about music? Is there music?
Yeah,
There's sound
it's-
effects.
yeah. The Hogwarts Express has music. The Diagon Alley doesn't really have music, but it's kind of just like it's like the music of the crowd. It's not John Williams or anything. It's nothing that we're familiar with. It's more generic, but it's still really it's just there to set the mood and complement the experience. The experience is really what you make it.
Okay.
In this massive area, and I would just urge everybody, because it's open to everybody. It's not like some kind of prolonged beta experience. You need like a user request to get in for months and months and months, and then it always crashes. This is smooth as a baby's bottom, and I'm telling you, it is fun.
And
the
everyone-
the best part is that this is J.K. Rowling's world. This is her imagined
Yes.
world as she saw it, and we're going there.
And I want everyone listening to add me. So find me. I'm Firebolt Key 7. So I want to have
Cool.
lots of friends.
Yeah.
'Cause I only on the legit Pottermore, like online Pottermore, I only accept people I really know. But the whole thing about PlayStation Home is that it's about the world. So friend me. Find me and friend me.
Yeah, and we'll have, as we well, Eric, what's yours? If you want people to find you and friend you.
Yeah, I'm in Britain, so I don't know if they can find me, but it's Strike Lumos 113.
Cool.
Hey guys, why don't we put these on the About Us page next to our right in our profiles?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Is it your Pottermore name? Is that what it is?
That's my Pottermore name.
Yeah, we named our PlayStation Network names, and I guess this is important to say too, because it really depends on how in depth you plan to go in Pottermore. But essentially, for our own protection, we adopted PlayStation Network accounts that were synonymous name-wise with our Pottermore account because it was for the testing and we knew we'd be taking pictures, which included our username and all that stuff. But that said, your purchases, all the little accessories won't transfer over to a different account. So you really just kind of have to, going in, understand what you're going to be using that account for and if you're going to do Pottermore. But
excellent.
It is free. So, I mean, Pottermore is free. So
and you can connect your online Pottermore account to your PlayStation Home Pottermore account. I thought it would be for getting house points and things like that, but I think it's really just to. I think what happens, and I can't verify this, Eric, when you played today, did your PlayStation Home name show up or your Pottermore name?
It was still the PlayStation Home name, and that is actually a feature. Yes, and that's a feature that is common everywhere in PlayStation Home. Is your name will show up above your thing, but it doesn't change it for Pottermore to your Pottermore account.
Okay.
Everybody I saw in there was using their PlayStation Home name.
Okay.
All right.
So I would strongly, like Eric said, I would recommend for your own protection doing that, but that's up to you.
Well, and also keep an eye out for on our personal Twitter accounts and things like that, and Facebook pages, yada yada. I'm sure we'll be advertising our names to have people, follow us and friend us and stuff like that.
We'll be organizing Harlem Shakes.
Oh yeah, of course we got to.
That is going to be the first thing we do. We are doing that right now.
Right.
We got to get Caleb. Does he have? I don't think he has a PlayStation, but Caleb, our fellow host from Alohomora, for those that don't know him, is all about the Harlem Shake.
Let's try to do one at the Quidditch World Cup. Why not?
Yeah, we're definitely going to. We're going to do one at MystiCon too.
All right.
You know what I discovered just like 2 hours ago, guys?
What?
Micah has a PlayStation 3.
Oh, what?
All right, we are getting him on there. Yep. We're dragging him on, Eric.
Yeah,
we're doing it.
We're
going to take a MuggleNet group photo.
Exactly.
Yeah, people were talking on the MuggleNet Facebook too. Like, is this worth buying a PlayStation 3 for? And it was really hard for me to say because PlayStation 3s are $300. But here's what I would say to anybody: like, PlayStation 3 is a reliable console.
Yeah.
The graphics are beautiful. It's a Blu-ray player. If you don't already have one of those. And if you have an HD TV that can appreciate Blu-ray, you're going to appreciate the video games that much more. And this is like a good perk. I'm not going to tell anybody to spend $300 on anything for anything, but this is a unique experience that I do not foresee. Even some of our questions now on Facebook are, is this coming to Xbox? Is this coming to Nintendo? And I don't think it will because Sony is the one that's in the partnership with J.K. Rowling for Pottermore to begin with.
Right.
And so that it's through that extension that they were even able to do this. But I am so glad that they translated Pottermore into a gaming platform at all console like this. And
I mean, this was probably their plan, right? This was
Well, I don't know. I think the public outcry, because I think people were expecting, a completely all new interactive experience whenever Pottermore originally rolled out, and they saw how quickly that tanked. So now they said, okay, we're going to go ahead and, create this online version of what people wanted.
You know what, though? I thought about that originally, but once you enter this world, you realize how in-depth and detailed it is. I think that they've been working on this from the beginning because the 1 year Pottermore anniversary is coming up on the 14th of this month. So I actually really think they've been working on this the whole time. I will get clarification from Sony on that for you.
That'd be really cool.
Well, guys, stay tuned to our next episode. We'll have more updated information about Pottermore and PlayStation, and also with our usernames and stuff like that, so you guys can go ahead and follow us and catch up with us there.
And now's the part of the show where Marissa talks.
I know, right? Marissa, are you
I don't have a PlayStation 3. I feel left out.
Aw.
That is sad. You should go out and spend $300 and buy one.
I know.
Kat has no problem telling you to do that.
But guys, let's move on to our Al Post. This is our email segment of our show. We have just one email that we want to go ahead and read to you guys today. It comes from Carrie. She writes, "Hey, Hogwarts Radio, just had to weigh in on the Snape the hero debate, and I'd have to say that I'm on Jen's side, and here's why. Snape was selfish. Whether or not he truly loved Lily or was infatuated with her doesn't matter. What does matter is that he acted on that only. He was fine with giving Voldemort the information from the prophecy, knowing full well that Voldemort would look to kill who it was talking about. It was only after he found out it was interpreted as Lily that he felt guilty. Did he care about James, even though James saved Snape's life once before? No. Did he care about Harry, who was only 1 year old? No. Nor did he care about the Longbottoms, who were the other option for who the prophecy was about. Just because he felt guilty doesn't make him a hero. Just because his job was hard does not make him a hero. Just because he threw his life on the line does not make him a hero. He did those things for all the wrong reasons, and not even for the greater good, like Dumbledore. He did it for himself, and only himself. So that's why I'm on Jen's side. Also, let's not forget how he treated Harry for no good reason at all. I mean, come on. The kid was an 11-year-old orphan because of him. Thanks for reading this, and I love the show. Carrie.
Sounds like we missed a pretty heated debate on this show.
I know, man. Whew, I'm sweating over here.
I don't know if I agree with our emailer here.
Oh, I completely agree.
Well, I completely disagree.
Oh, thank you, Noah.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
So wait, who thinks Snape is a hero?
I do.
I do.
Let's turn this into a debate segment, guys.
Okay.
Why was Snape a hero?
Wait, what side are you on, Eric?
Not a hero.
Yeah, me too, buddy. High five.
Oh, Lord.
High five. It's our Pottermore relationship now.
Marissa,
Yes.
what do you think? Why do you think Snape's a hero?
Well, going back to her email, she said he was only doing it for himself. And if he was only doing it for himself, I really don't think that, like, he would have gone on helping Harry so much over the whole 7 years. And, I mean, if it was selfish reasons, it may have been selfish for Lily. Mm-hmm. Like, he was doing this for her. But it's still, I mean, she's dead, so spoiler alert. But, I mean...
You're supposed to say spoiler alert before you spoil.
I don't know how that
She's dead in the
works.
first chapter, though.
But, no, like...
Yeah, really. That's fair.
It just... Like, I really think that there was more to it other than for his own selfish reasons. Whether he was infatuated or truly in love with Lily, I don't want to comment on. But... I mean, he had so many opportunities to turn back and not help Harry, and just let everything else take its course. Mm-hmm. That, I mean, simply because the fact that he did not turn back and he kept helping Dumbledore and doing Dumbledore's bidding up to the point that, spoiler alert, he killed him. So,
wait,
I really
killed
do
Dumbledore?
think he was. I said spoiler alert.
Oh, okay.
I did it correctly that time, too. I said it first.
She did, mad props. I think, just because Snape, if I could jump in, Snape has a redemptive storyline, no questions about it, but I don't think that makes him a hero. He basically causes he causes Harry's parents to die by, conveying this information to Voldemort. Even being on Voldemort's side, that's a pretty bad thing to be. And so in the end, the guilt over causing his one love of his life to die, shapes him into a character who wants to be forgiven and therefore goes through and does the things that will allow that to happen. And, in the end, he does it grudgingly, and he still gives into his personal hatred at least for James, when he treats Harry wrongly for 11 years. Or 7 years, I should say. I don't know why I said 11 there. Since age 11. For 7 years of Hogwarts. He makes it grueling. I mean, there are chapters when you want to punch. Until Umbridge was introduced, Snape was the one guy you really wanted to hit.
So true.
Eric, I have to disagree with your entire spiel. And this is why. I feel like the argument that Snape is not a hero because he did this in his past is kind of... it seems a weak argument to me, because I think he can change. I think he made a mistake, and then... throughout his life, he becomes stronger as an individual. Sure, he treats Harry poorly, but what is all that treating Harry poorly weighed against the fact that when he meets Voldemort at the end, he still does not selfishly tell Voldemort that he is not the owner of the Elder, that he is the owner of the Elder Wand. He allows himself to be killed. That's like the most heroic thing he's done. And honestly, it's worth his bad treatment of Harry throughout the years, just for that one moment. And that makes him a hero, even if his sort of accident in the beginning created this whole event in the first place.
Wait. If he was a hero, he wouldn't feel the need to explain himself at the end. Like, okay, sure, like he dies because Voldemort is right there and is going to kill him. Great, good for you. But then he still has to feel like he gives Harry those memories and he's like, here's the excuses for the reasons I was a jackass to you your entire life. No, it's not an excuse.
It's just
yeah,
that's not his excuse at all. It's for Harry to know that he needs to die. That was the whole reason he gave him. He gave a little backstory, yeah, but at the end he was like, it was the memory about Dumbledore telling Snape that he needs to tell Harry that he is a Horcrux for sure and needs to die.
Then that should have been
that was the biggest thing of the memory.
I should clarify my point as well, too. I agree that actually heroes perhaps can only be heroes if they've faced some sort of adversity.
Exactly.
And some sort of inner tragedy. Okay, but that's what I meant when I said he has a redemptive storyline. So he does have a redemptive storyline. Whether or not he's a hero, I think is perfectly debatable. And, you know, what he says to Voldemort at the end, it makes him brave. Or what he doesn't say to Voldemort makes him brave. And bravery is obviously a trait of a hero. But is he a hero?
I feel like his redemption is part of his heroism.
I think that as well, because with Dumbledore, I mean, Dumbledore had that whole... We still don't know who killed Ariana, you know, but it was because of him fighting with Grindelwald. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm going to have to agree and say that the acts that he did made him redemptive. Like you were saying, Eric, I mean, the acts that he did made him redemptive, and I think that made him a hero, though.
I'll tell you another reason why he might be a hero. Harry Potter thinks he is. He named his son after him. In the same
well,
name
he thinks he's brave. He thinks he's brave. He doesn't think he's a hero.
Very true.
What do you think, Dumbledore is a hero?
Good question. But anyway, I just looked up, I Googled definition and hero. Number one, a person, typically a man. Ooh, slam. Google's sexist. Here's the proof right here. No, a person, typically a man who is admired for courage or noble qualities. So there, I mean, that definition. Snape does have courage, and I would say it's very possible that he could be considered a hero for them. Noble qualities, however, I wouldn't go so far as to say that Snape was noble. He's an unsung, he's flawed hero. You know, all the stuff that the girls love to read about.
Flawed hero, schmod hero. Jesus, I hate that. You know, you're either a hero or you're not. It's not like, oh, you're almost a hero, or you're a half hero, or you're a flawed hero.
Here's a question to the group. Can we reasonably say that Harry thinks that Snape is a hero, given the fact that he named his son after him?
Yeah.
Okay,
no, he says that he's the bravest man he ever knew. That doesn't mean that he's a hero.
I'm saying I think
Harry, personally, if we're talking about Harry naming his kid after him, I think he did that out of, guilt.
Yeah.
Because he never knew the real Snape. And, isn't it kind of creepy to, like, have your dying words be, I loved your mother, like the information that he was in love with Harry's mom the whole time? That's creepy. I'm sorry, it is.
It's
and
creepy,
I think
but
Harry
beautiful.
felt... I think it is creepy, but I mean, it is beautiful in a way. But I also think that Harry felt obligated to pay the respect to literally anybody who saved his life in such an important way and allowed him to complete his task. So I think he owed it to Snape. Whether or not he feels he's a hero, I think that's beside the point. He definitely, though, believes he's brave, and that is a quality that we associate with heroes.
Eric,
so that can be said.
I believe that it would be creepy if Harry didn't hear it pretty much all of his life. The fact that he did hear it all of his life, and then to hear it come from the one man that he would never have expected it to come from, I don't think that...
What? Wait, who was saying that Snape loved Lily?
No, that his mother's eyes and stuff like that. I mean, you have your mother's eyes. That's essentially that's what Snape said, was you have your mother's eyes with his dying breath.
And everyone was saying that to him. Pretty much everyone was hitting on his mom through him over the course of the book.
Exactly.
Harry's got to be tired of it. Personally, I would write everybody's name down who's ever told me my mom was hot and burn the book. But that's just me.
Or Sheldon. That sounds like a Sheldon thing.
Well, his mom is
hot.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So, yeah, it is a particularly sensitive subject, even to this day, even almost 6 years after the book came out. And I think it's a hot topic that's going to be debated for quite a while.
Maybe we'll post about it on MuggleNet tomorrow.
Ooh.
I think
Is
when
Snape
we
a
get to
hero
that,
discussion?
Right.
And I'm sure that
God.
we'll talk about that when we get to that chapter on Alohomora.
Oh, yeah.
you should
Definitely.
wait for then. Yeah, you should wait for then, Noah.
Yeah.
Should I?
Yes, you should.
Okay.
Well, guys, let's move on to a couple of announcements here. Just a little bit of housekeeping notes. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast on iTunes. And while you're there, don't forget to leave us a review. We recently put up a new feed, so we only got, a little bit of reviews up there, and we'd like to get a little bit more. Also, our podcast is going to be going up on YouTube, so add our channel, Hogwarts Radio, to your list of subscriptions in case, you're not always around your iTunes or anything like that, or if you have an Android device or something like that, you want to go to YouTube and you'll be able to check out Hogwarts Radio there. Secondly, our site is on its way back up finally, and the episodes page is more than halfway updated. If you go to hogwartsradio.com/episodes, it includes episodes 10 through 92 or something like that, and it's actually a slow process, guys, uploading all of these episodes. And it's a challenge finding all of them because I know I don't have all of them. But rest assured, we'll have the rest of the episodes up for you probably by the end of the weekend. So you're able to check out all of the episodes all the way from 1 to 128, including our minisodes and our commentary. Remember, Eric, we did that commentary for Sorcerer's Stone.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. But yeah, definitely, you guys should check that out. And show notes are also going to be posted on the episodes page as well.
Do you guys have transcripts?
We do. We have a transcript team.
Awesome.
But it was just picked up a while ago, right, Marissa? Like 2 months ago or something like that?
Yes, we are plugging away at them.
Yeah. Yeah, your team's doing a really great job at that. And thank you very much if you transcribe for our show. And if you want to transcribe, Marissa, how would they shoot you an email?
Email me at hrtranscripts@gmail.com. We'll train you for the most part. It's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Have access to the shows and to a computer.
Obviously.
Yes. And just the biggest thing is being able to figure out who's saying what. Like to be able to distinguish the different hosts that speak. But I mean, if you've listened enough, you should be able to. And we all speak pretty distinctly in our different voices, I think. So it's not too hard.
Unless I'm doing a different voice, then, that might make it challenging.
Yeah, but then we just don't know who you are.
Oh, boy.
Or like if some weird guest says Dinklefarts or hyphen.
Wait. Did somebody just talk in the Mickey Mouse voice?
Oh, boy, cat.
Now that would be an example of not being actual host. We would just have to say Mickey said that.
Wait, Noah, was that you?
No, I wish.
First it was me, then it was Terrence.
Read the transcript to see who it was.
Right. It's going to say Mickey or unknown or something like that.
Right,
no,
totally.
That was me.
Oh no!
Wow, that's a good Mickey voice, Terrence.
Thank you.
Props to you, man.
Very much, very much. I'm a man of many voices. Well, you know what? I'm gonna take it up a level. Hyphen, semicolon, hyphen, quotation mark, open quotation mark,
parenthesis,
quotation mark, parenthesis.
This is gonna be the coolest transcript ever.
They hate us.
Sorry, team.
They're gonna love us.
Just put indiscernible in parentheses. That's
You know
how
what?
Get by that.
Whoever types this, I love Terrence. Thank you. That is
Just say nonsense for that. Just say incoherent nonsense.
right.
Or just put Noah.
Noah creates incoherent nonsense.
No, I was calling you incoherent. Anyway.
Hey, let's play a game. Let's play the wrong answer game. And for our guests and for our new listeners, this is the object of this game is to answer the question incorrectly to get the answer correct. And Grayson's always on me about this. He's like, "Oh, it's a conundrum." Blah 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 blah. I can already hear him. But we'll throw out a question. I'll throw out a question to each and every one of you guys, and then you answer it in the way that you want to answer it. But it has to be the wrong answer.
Perhaps it would be prudent to give Marissa the first go because she's played this game before.
Thank you, Professor Snaperman.
Give it to her.
That was creepy Snape.
That was creepy Snape.
No, it was me.
That was Noah?
Yeah. For the transcribers.
Let the transcript record show that was just Noah.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, so Marissa, the first question is for you. Marissa, what object does Harry open underwater in the prefect's bathroom in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire?
The drain, because he's done with his bath.
Really?
So, yeah.
That was it?
Yeah.
That was the wrong answer.
It was.
Okay.
But for the right reasons.
For the right reasons.
Okay. I told you I'm bad at this game.
Eric,
I'll think of something 3 days later and text you.
Excellent. Yeah, you probably will. You're like, I should have said this. Okay. Eric, this one's for you. Eric, who is Emma Watson?
Oh, see, I have a good one for that.
Emma Watson is the name of Mr. Weasley's plug. Watson. Emma Watson.
Watts on, Watts off.
Mr. Weasley's favorite plug is named Emma Watson.
Oh, gosh.
Now, see, I would have said something like the girl that plays Bella Swan. And just start a whole can of worms.
Oh, boy.
Or Anastasia Steele.
Oh, yeah. Ooh. That would have, yeah, especially since she was very vocal at not
against
being
it, right?
that,
Yeah.
She was very vocal in the audition, too.
Noah.
Okay, this one's for Kat. Kat, where is the Wizarding World of Harry Potter theme park located?
In Atlantis, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
I don't know why that would make sense.
Is
but
that why Muggles can't get to it?
yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Noah, this one's for you. And please feel free to answer this in any way possible that you want to answer.
Even in Mermish.
All right.
Noah, what is Daniel Radcliffe's newest project?
I think it might actually be Emma Watson at this point.
Oh, what?
She's
Do you
certainly
think they're
mine.
getting together behind the scenes at Madame Tussauds?
Something's got to heat up those wax statues.
How dirty would
think
those people be? That'd be awesome.
I would love to make one of those wax figures. I wonder if they make all the parts.
I believe they're made in China.
I think they're probably made like Barbies, like smooth down there.
Yeah.
Maybe Emma went into a full body cast.
I love it.
Yeah.
She went in Han Solo style.
Dieto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's how we play the wrong answer game. If you have a wrong answer or a wrong question, a question that we can answer wrong, just send it in to us, tweet us. You know how to get a hold of us.
I like that. I like that game.
Usually,
Why don't we have games?
It can get.
We do have games, Noah.
We had games, but then Alohomora was over 3 hours long.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Maybe fewer games.
Well, guys, let's talk about. Let's move into our discussion this week. Why not? We're already like an hour into the show. But hey, let's talk about spells this week. As you may remember, as our listeners may remember, a few weeks ago we discussed potions. Now we're here to discuss spells.
Oh, I got mad spells, let me tell you.
Spells, skills.
S-P-E-L-L-S.
S-P-E-E-L-Z. I mean, hang on. S-P-E-L-L-Z.
Mad spells.
Yeah. So as we know, J.K. Rowling is famous for using Christian symbols, Latin words, and mythology in her books. And let's take a look at how they're used in spells. And let's run a couple of quick facts here. There's just two of them. There's over 200 spells in the Harry Potter series.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's amazing. Like that's actually amazing. You know there are a lot of them, but when you actually look at a number like over 200, you just wonder how you can possibly read that many spells. Like how many could we name if we had to name them?
Okay, so wait, I just want this. I'm throwing this out to my friends here. I have a game night monthly, and last month we played Harry Potter Seen It. The tiebreaker was so between myself and my friend Amy, you have to name a spell, and then the other person names a spell, and whoever can't come up with a spell loses. We named spells for 44 minutes until we ran out of spells. So, just throwing it out there. I did not count how many, but it took us 44 minutes to not come up with a spell.
Oh,
After we finally finish this episode, we really need to see how many we can name.
Totally.
yeah, definitely. Because I mean, just off the top of my head, I can name quite a few. I don't know about you guys.
But can you name any without the letter E?
Yes.
Ooh, that's good.
Accio.
Exactly.
Accio, Lumos. How many others?
Nox.
Alohomora.
Yeah,
There
the
you
best
go. I was
gonna
one,
say that,
baby.
but I was waiting
I
for
love
it.
how Marissa snuck in with
Wait,
that.
why didn't I say that? Alohomora, that's my answer.
I saw that on a trivia question, though, that somebody was like, yeah, can you name a Harry Potter spell that doesn't have an E in it? And, like, of course I did, but it was strange.
That's a big thing right now. It's like, name a state without the letter A.
Crucio.
Okay.
Crucio doesn't have that.
You know what? Maybe that's what I thought. Maybe that's what I thought.
Confundo.
Imperio.
Engorgio.
No, that hasn't.
Oh, Imperio has
Imperio hasn't.
Well, then, hey, can you name a spell with the letter E in it?
Imperio.
Oh.
I don't know that one. Expella Aramis.
Wingardium Leviosa.
Ooh.
Oh,
that
that's
one?
that may
hasn't-
be the longest spell without an E in it.
That has an E. Leviosa.
It's Leviosa, not Leviosa.
L-E-V.
Right. Well, anyway,
Yeah.
you were saying.
Anyway,
Regardless.
and another fact here, Rowling herself learned Latin, which is, like I said, used in most spells in school and spent time studying in France, which is pretty neat. The main depiction of a spell in the Harry Potter books consists of a gesture made with the character's wand.
Gesture, the board game.
I know, right? That's what I was thinking of. Combined with a spoken or mental incantation. Nonverbal spells as well. In the books and associated film series, the names of the majority of the spells or the incantations used to affect them are derived from classical languages, like we just said, Latin. And these names are not grammatically correct in any languages. In any language, most spoken phrases resemble Latin words of appropriate meaning, but are not proper Latin themselves, which is pretty cool. But I wanted to talk about, okay, so we have spells, and then we have curses. So what's the difference, really, between a spell and a curse?
I wondered this, and I saw this. I had the luxury of seeing this in the doc, so I was a little prepared for this question. But I also wrote down in my notes for the show. Not only are there spells and curses, there are charms, there are jinxes,
Hexes.
and there are hexes. And what else are there? We got we got
Jexes.
jinxes, hexes, charms, spells, curses. Am I missing any? What are we thinking? Jellylegs jinx, bat bogey hex.
Yeah.
A charm.
Levitation charm. Charms are charming. That's all I could work out in terms of what separates them. Charms are charming, right?
Well,
Find me a non-charming
Charms are happy.
charm.
If you think about, jinx as well, it's like whenever you were younger and you and your friends said the same thing at the same time, and you said jinx, to prevent them from speaking. I think that might be a form of kind of a mental spell with a...
Jinxes are prohibitive but not fatal, like the Jellylegs jinx.
Yeah.
And
Jellylegs
impedimenta slows you down.
Yes.
You know
So
what?
perhaps jinxes... Yeah.
Curses are long-lasting until they are lifted.
That's
Except
good.
For,
Once
'cause
upon
I
a
think
time.
Avada Kedavra, you're dead, so that is an eternal state. Just like Imperio, Crucio, they have to be lifted.
But you can't lift the Avada Kedavra.
Maybe you can.
I think
I
No,
don't
you
think
can't.
so.
I'm just joking.
Dead
There's
is
no way.
dead,
I think a
Noah.
hex is something that's detrimental. And it's like a jinx, but something bad actually happens to you. It doesn't just make you dance crazy, you actually get some kind of disease or something.
A hex...
Yeah,
Right,
so
I
what
see-
happens
I
with a
I
bat
see a
bogey hex?
I see a jinx as a practical joke. Ha 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 ha, look what I did to
Well,
you.
and it helps that our only setting for this really is a boarding school. So you do see these terms used there, and they do usually refer to harmless things. I think a hex. Calling it a bat bogey hex, you can imagine that does a little bit of harm, but it's probably on the lighter side compared to other hexes.
I don't know.
believe Ginny cast one
Doesn't
on-
Ginny use that on a Death Eater?
Yeah, I
during
was
the
thinking
battle?
about that.
I
Well,
think she
that's
uses
just
it on,
that's just to
Zachariah
delay him.
Smith.
Yeah, I thought she used it on a Death Eater too. At the point when they're in the Department of Mysteries, they're kind of just using all the spells they can think of to slow their aggressors. If you have if your boogers turn into bats and start flying out
Oh
your
my
nose, that's
God.
going to distract you. That's going to distract you long enough for the person you're pursuing to get away. So even though they use the hexes, I mean, Harry also uses the jelly legs jinx on one of them. And, what's the word? Where you stiff as a board. What is that?
Petrificus
Petrificus
totalis.
Totalis, yes. They use that because it slows down their attackers. So I wouldn't say they're using it for its strictly harmful characteristics, just the ones that slow.
Well, yeah, because we all know Harry's a wuss, so.
Yeah,
Totally.
Expelliarmus. Hey, is that a charm or a spell what is that?
That is a spell.
Disarm charm.
Expel. So I would think spell.
No, it's a charm.
It's a charm.
It's the disarm charm.
It's definitely not a
But
charm.
it's not charming.
No, it's a spell.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a spell?
Yeah,
I'm going to look this up. I'm going to find the lexicon.
I mean, I'm having a hard time discerning this. What is what? Okay, we know what separates, the obvious, but like a charm and a spell. Come on. I mean,
I think they're all spells, let's be honest.
I think
I
I think a charm is like on something specific, like it's like changing that object. Like you make the teapot dance or
the feather raise or
or like the knitting needles to knit by themselves and stuff. I think those things are charmed. But then you also have things that are transfigured.
I was just going to say,
and that's like
what kind of magic is that?
the rat transfiguring into the cup.
Or the death pig.
or the desk pig. Yes.
Yes.
Sorry, I just had to
Destiny
throw it in there.
migrates to another show.
Oh, actually, according to the lexicon, Expelliarmus is a disarming spell. So perhaps it's not... I mean, well, you're right. It's a spell. It's not exactly a charm. It's not... As far as I can tell, it's not categorized as being a charm.
Yeah.
Because I think they're all categorized as spells, aren't they?
But
I think spell is kind of catch-all.
Yeah.
Maybe. I'm trying to think of an instance where it wouldn't be, though. Because it's just like...
so why would they call it like charms class? Why wouldn't they call it spells or,
Well, I think because, like Marissa
spells
said, I mean, charms are something that you use to change an object. Not change an object, but interact with the object.
It's a certain discipline, it has its own rules. Certain charms, and in order to charm objects, you need to learn how charms change with different objects and that sort of thing. That's why charms class. But they don't have, correct me if I'm wrong, they don't really have charms class past year 1, right?
Sure they do. They talk about it.
Really?
Yeah.
Dun dun dun.
Because they take take the owls in charms.
Oh. Aren't there other courses, though, that they only have certain years? Obviously, I mean, divination is only until later, but
Muggle
I had a
studies
feeling that
and
they gave...
arithmancy, I don't think you can take till like third year or something.
Yeah, but those are the more advanced. I mean, I thought they really left some behind. Obviously,
history
the
of
flying
magic
lesson that they
left behind.
The flying lesson that they get for Madam Hooch, obviously that's
definitely.
not a class in the later years.
history of magic as well? They leave that behind.
No, they don't,
though?
because Harry takes that in his 5th year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just less talked about by J.K. Rowling. So I'm trying to think because, well, anyway, the point that I wanted to make was that charms are the more rudimentary forms of magic. Things like Defense Against the Dark Arts would teach you spells, maybe hexes. I don't really understand why how they would learn jinxes except playing around with their friends or maybe going to the dueling club. But that dueling club was only available once in year 2. It was very short-lived.
Although it was the most important moment in Harry's life, because he wouldn't have learned Expelliarmus if he hadn't attended that.
I think his birth would probably qualify as one of the most important events.
No,
of his life.
disagree. It's when he learned Expelliarmus.
And
And
taught
guess
him.
who?
When he
And
became
who
alive,
taught
Noah?
him that?
A hero
Snape.
is who taught him
No,
that.
no, not a hero.
Thank you, Kat. I see
On
you
that
agree
subject,
with
our
me now.
Twitter is blowing up. I asked if Snape was a hero, and everybody's saying yes so far. FYI.
Oh my God! Yeah, I'm
They're wrong.
Eric, Kat and Eric, but
Kat and I know where it's at.
So let's okay. So obviously we'll probably talk about charms, curses, all that other stuff forever. But let's focus on one of those real quick. Let's focus on curses and the unforgivable curses in specific. How did they become unforgivable by the Ministry, and why can't they be traced? Like, the trace can be tracked to young wizards and what spell they perform, but why can't it be applied to the same methods to criminals that use these curses or have a history of using them? Like, why can't they track them? And
Oh, because the reason they're unforgivable is because they can't necessarily be tracked. Like Imperio can't be tracked. It's not obvious, right? It's very subtle, complete takeover of somebody else. So that's why it's unforgivable, because it's so hard to detect, and it's illegal because it has such a deep penetration and is so dangerous, detrimental to any political figure if you Imperio them. The death spell is irrevocable, and that makes it unforgivable.
Yeah.
I feel like you're asking the same question as why is murder considered a law?
Well, not really, because the unforgivable curses don't necessarily... Sure, one of them is murder, but I'm not saying why is it against the law. I'm saying why can't it be tracked better? Like, I mean, I get the whole Imperial thing that Eric had, just explained, that it's so subtle, and even with Crucio. But why can't Avada Kedavra? Like, I mean, that's a pretty serious curse, and I think that an additional security measure that should be taken is to be able to trace anybody that mutters those words.
Well, the thing of it is that when they're introduced, the unforgivable curses are explained by Barty Crouch Jr., ironically enough, as performing any one of them will land you a cell in Azkaban. So there's that, for measure there, that if you are caught, if you are tracked, if somebody knows that you did do it and can prove it, then you're going to jail immediately, like almost without trial, right? That you're convicted, because those specific curses have been outlawed so heavily. So I don't know that there isn't a good way to track them. I mean, we've seen Avada Kedavra has an MO, it has this issue where you appear dead, you appear perfectly fine as if you did before you were hit with the curse, except you're not fine, you're dead. So I think it would be very easy, unlike other spells where you get blown up or burned to death, something like that, it's not to get too dark here, or bright as the fire may allow, talking about sorry, having fun there. Talking about the death curse and how it react. I think it's easy to, once you find the death curse, you can figure out that it's been cast once you find the victim. But there are certain ways of tracking people that I don't think I've ever been clear of, and I'm waiting for these chapters in Pottermore. Like the trace, the ones about the trace that's on Harry, the one that's on the taboo in Book 7 where he says Voldemort and they can find him. That's a scenario where you have to, I guess, go to the Ministry, apply for a taboo, right? And then they get security wizards to go and come after you. I don't really remember.
We would think
7.
like the Ministry would be smart enough to taboo Avada Kedavra.
The curse?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if they do that, could they not do that?
You can
That's
sort
a good
of
question.
track it if you have a suspect and you get a hold of their wand and do, what is it, Priori Incantatem or whatever, and it can show you the last thing, or the last couple of things maybe that the wand has done, so...
Yeah, but the thing is we've learned this in the series too, that the wand doesn't necessarily stay with the person that it is, that it's intended for. I mean,
Winky's going to jail.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Harry casting Avada Kedavra with Draco's wand, and then the Ministry coming along and saying, "Draco, you performed this curse at such and such time," and Draco's like, "No, I didn't."
I just think that's why there are R's, and that's why there are courts and trials and things like that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is the good news. I mean, my question though, we're talking about the unforgivable curses. Are there unforgivable charms?
maybe ones that make
Too
you
nice
laugh
and
hysterically.
friendly.
Rictus
Charms
Sempra.
Yeah, Rictum Sempra Maxima.
I mean, that could be
Oh my
torture. That could be as
God.
bad as a Crucio.
What if people are killing, or what if people are using Avada Kedavra to, like, kill spiders and mosquitoes?
Well, I would
That
use
is
like
awful.
Incendio or something. You know,
I would think the effect would be this, or the punishment would be the same. You really just aren't supposed to use that. Like, you think or wizard exterminators, when they're going to a house to rid a house of Nargles, do you think they use Avada Kedavra on each of those Nargles and aren't thrown into Azkaban for it?
I doubt it. I doubt they use that. Isn't that what like Scourgify and stuff is for?
yeah.
So there are lesser spells for exterminations and things like that.
Yeah, you can hit them with like Incendio or something like that.
I think like anything, there's an adverse. What was I going to say? It's inversely proportional. Like, the effect that it achieves is inversely proportional to how easy it is to cast it. Not that it's necessarily easy to cast the Death Curse, but if you are an evil person who has, malice in your heart, it's way too easy to kill a ton of people, and that's why it's unforgivable. And Imperio just gives you way too much control, and Crucio just gives you way too much control over somebody else's will. So I think like that, that's those are why they're unforgivable. And as for how trackable they are, I mean, unfortunately, I do want to say that in the Harry Potter books, we witness the overhaul of the wizarding government. So we see it where the government is quite weak at the time. So that's why those spells seem to run a little bit more rampant than I believe they would in a regular, normal, day-to-day society, like after Voldemort's defeat.
Also, we got to think of the spells that can be created, or the curses that can be created, that can become unforgivable, like Sectum Sempra. I believe that curse should be unforgivable because it causes, unforeseen pain.
Yeah, unless you have Snape there to save your life.
Yeah, exactly.
But see, that's a really lesser-known spell, because, I mean, Snape created that, seemingly.
Right, but my point is it can become widely known. I mean, all he has to do is just, go on Craigslist and post, hey, guys, I found, the spell.
I've always wondered, too, and I again, can't wait for the chapter on Pottermore, when J.K. Rowling really talks about people creating spells, like the way Snape is shown to have done. In book 6, he did a lot of, I mean, we're meant to believe he did a lot of spells. Not only is he a great potions guy, but to fiddle around with spells, and it's more like, I would have to say it's a marriage between one and the environment to actually create a spell. Really, I think it's more like you find it.
Right, I think there are like maybe an infinite number of spells, and it's just a matter of finding the right wordings in the Latin or whatever language.
An inflection and kind of turning it into what you want it to do.
Yeah.
So that's quite interesting.
That is very interesting. So here's a question, and we probably already know the answer to it, but why can't Muggles do spells, even if they got a hold of a wand?
Because they don't have magic.
Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, there's Muggles that goes to... I'm going to use Mudbloods that go to... Because I'm pure blood. There are Mudbloods that go to Hogwarts.
It's like a gene. They have magic, and Muggles don't have this magical gene, and all a wand does is concentrate that magic.
Right. I have a theory that the universe itself is already magical, and spells are the kind of the fusion of the person's magic and the universal magic, and the wand is like the vehicle between the two.
Well, okay, if you're going that route, then we discussed this back on a previous episode when we were talking about potions. Would a potion have the same effect it does on a Muggle than it does a wizard?
No.
I mean, I think it would.
I think it depends on the potion.
Yes.
How about that?
I mean, could a Muggle take Polyjuice Potion?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Totally.
Oh, because I'm not sure. In fact, I'm inclined to say no, they couldn't.
Why?
Because
why is that?
Because potions are a magical discipline. If it's really just adding things together, like, when does potions become something more than cooking? Is it only when you're using ingredients that have defined magical properties? But then, wouldn't the same rules apply to those magical ingredients as do magic and wizards to begin with? Which is that you're not supposed to mix the two or have them interact?
Well, I'm not talking about actual brewing a potion, because everybody knows that you need a wand in order to
that's
complete.
my point. Like,
right.
Essentially, like, yeah. Oh, well, there are some potions you need a wand to complete.
But taking the potion and having that effect, like Felix Felicis.
Yeah, I feel like I like it a lot better if it is exclusive to wizards.
But then somebody like...
But it's not.
Somebody like Filch wouldn't be able to take a pepper up potion if he was feeling sick, which we know he does.
But I still...
Magic can be done upon non-magical things, but non-magical things cannot do magic.
I still sort of agree with you, Eric, though, possibly, because take something like Polyjuice Potion, your body has to kind of physically morph, aligned with the potion to this other individual, and maybe to be magical is to also have it in your DNA, so that if you take something like Polyjuice Potion, you can reformulate and become something else, and maybe it wouldn't work the same way for Muggles who don't have that ability in their DNA, maybe.
Again, I see it as being something like in your digestive system, and it has to do with the fact that there are magical creatures who are being chopped up and put into the potion that, unless you're magic, it really won't have the same effect on you.
It'll just give you a really bad stomach ache or kill you.
Well, I
that's
think there are
rough.
some. I think most potions work on Muggles, but I think there are some potions that won't work on a Muggle because they are not magic. Like the one we talked about a few weeks ago, that Magimy More. It is supposed to enhance your magical abilities, and if you don't have magical abilities to enhance, then it's not going to work.
Right. I concur. I'm with Marissa.
So going back to spells then. You were saying, Terrence?
Well, I want to go back to spells because if Avada Kedavra is cast on a Muggle, which we know Frank Bryce was hit with the Avada Kedavra curse, he died. So then the effects, if you guys are saying that it should only apply to wizards, that potions should only apply to wizards, well, it should be the same way for spells too. So
I see why you would think that, but I do think it's kind of a one-way street with spells, where you can kill. Avada Kedavra in particular is an extinguishing of the life force, and everybody's got life force, so I would say it works.
Okay, then what about the I don't know. What about like Levi Corpus?
How many other examples? Yeah, how many other examples do we have of wizards casting spells on humans? But
Dudley Dursley.
again, I'm inclined to say it would. For the pig, right? But
Yeah.
but we don't know why that spell didn't work.
It didn't
We don't
work
really
because
know why that spell
Hagrid.
didn't.
Hagrid's not good
Because
at
his
magic.
wand was
That's one argument, or maybe it's because of this theory that magic affects Muggles differently.
Well, then you look at the guy from the Wizarding World Cup, and they had to keep casting that. What is the memory charm
charms.
on him to make him forget.
Mm-hmm.
So spells definitely work on Muggles.
Then it should be the same
Yeah.
way with
Interesting 5 seconds of thinking.
I also
Yeah.
just thought of another potion that worked on a Muggle was the candy that Fred and George left for Dudley, the tongue
Oh, yeah,
toffee.
yeah.
Tongue toffee.
So
yeah.
Oh.
I'm not sure
Maybe
I'd call
that-
that a potion, more of a concoction, but I do agree.
Yeah.
That could potentially
So many
prove
grays.
the point, then. The potions would work.
So let's go around the table real quick and talk about our favorite potion. I mean, our favorite spells. Wow.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry, I'm going back
Yeah.
a couple of weeks here. Our favorite spell. And
If I said Engorgio, would that creep the rest of you guys out?
yeah, it would. I knew you were
pretty
going to say
creeped
that
out,
too.
I didn't, though. That was hypothetical.
Uh-oh. Sorry. Anyway, so what are some of our favorite spells? Well, Noah, let's start out with you. What's your favorite spell?
Expecto Patronum!
That's an awesome spell. I love it.
I don't like that spell. Let me tell you why I don't like that spell. It
Why don't you
requires
like that
to
spell,
think.
Eric?
It requires you to think of a happy thought, and I think that's too demanding.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, that's
it's-
too hard for you?
That's too hard for me. Think about the quick situations in which Harry is forced to cast Expecto Patronum when his life is at stake. I understand you get really good with practice, but I really want to go to Jo and give her a list and be like, okay, what were Harry's happy moments that he was
You know
thinking
what,
about? Here,
Eric?
here, and
You
here,
should
and
listen
here,
to the
and
latest episode of Alohomora,
Alohomora.
because we talk about that.
here. I'm telling you. You have to think of a happy thought every time you cast it. So
Well, you know what,
No,
Eric,
actually, I don't think you do, but that's another show.
You don't think is that on Alohomora too?
It is. The idea is that it becomes a kind of muscle memory.
Hey, don't give it all away. Make them
Oh,
listen to the
okay,
show.
What? I'm a paying listener. Okay.
Between us, Eric. Don't tell
Don't
the
give it.
listeners.
Oh yeah.
But,
Thanks.
I mean, honestly, if you were living your life casting more Patronuses and therefore thinking more happy thoughts, wouldn't you live a happier life?
Ooh. Question. I don't know. If I were always surrounded by Dementors, I'd kind of be upset. I kind of want to change my life, change my surroundings.
I try to
and
cast
not need to
Patronuses every day.
Yeah.
Which, if
Hey,
you
a
listen
Patronus
to,
a Patronus a day keeps the doctor away.
if you listen to Alohomora, that
Patronus
has
a
a double
day
meaning.
keeps the
Keeps a
Dementors
Dementor
away.
away.
Well, that too. But I'm saying you're happier too, like Noah's saying.
Yeah.
I like the idea
I'm
of
very
muscle
happy.
memory.
Question real quick here before we get back to favorites. Alohomora. Will that work on a girl's heart if it's locked?
Aw, no.
Oh no.
Okay.
Is that not true, Kat?
No. Nice try,
Cat's
Terrence.
daring you
Oh.
to try.
Darn, I was going to try that with Voldemort's wand next time.
It might work on other things, though.
Uh-huh.
Noah, no more.
Noah's gonna try that after his movie night.
So, ooh. Sorry, Marissa, what is your favorite spell?
I just have two to talk about really quickly, so Noah can go have his movie night.
Right.
The first one is, it's not my favorite spell, it's my mother's favorite spell. I wanted to mention it because it cracks me up every time she does this. I'll just be talking, normal conversation with her, and I'll say the word ridiculous, and immediately my mom responds is, ridiculous! Like, every time. And so my mom casts a lot of boggarts away. And I'm not even sure she knows what it means, but she really likes that spell. But my favorite...
Your mom's awesome.
Thank you. I agree. My favorite spell is Lumos, because I can actually do that one.
Eric, what about you? What's your favorite spell?
Even though this is used for malicious intent, Incarcerous is pretty cool.
Oh, that's a good one.
That is pretty good, yeah.
It's just a cool spell it's never cool to bind somebody against their will, okay? And we're getting into 50 Shades here. But, I think it is it must be a really cool sight to see ropes just come out of somebody's wand. And in terms of a spell that manages one's environment, such as if you're building a rope bridge, you can see how it will become instantly handy.
Yeah. I would agree.
And in other situations too.
Well, I was trying to think of a healthy one where you weren't forcing somebody against their will.
Tying bundles of hay.
What about you, Kat?
So I've been thinking about this as y'all were talking, and so I have my favorite movie spell, because I feel like it's important to differentiate the two. Because it's so dorky and it's so fun to say, is Aradia Exime.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I don't even know what the hell they're saying in the movie. I've never turned on the subtitles. I've never looked it up. What is it?
It gets the spiders away with the blinding light. I love Aradia.
I'm pretty sure it just means exit spiders in Latin.
Oh, right.
But anyway, Chamber of Secrets is my least favorite movie.
But
I happen to think that scene is hilariously awesome. So that one. I think mostly because I think it's kind of Ginny's shining moment. I like Reducto. I just love the scenes where they use it in the movies.
Worst movie.
It is killer. Did you just call my favorite book the worst movie?
Hang on.
Yes.
That's perfectly legit. That doesn't present any kind of fallacy.
Book is good, movie bad.
Yeah.
No, this is the conversation. This is another show.
Unless you want to... I mean, if the Harry Potter series could just be a montage, I'd be fine with that, but no.
Right.
Book 5 was overlong. Movie 5 was perfect.
So Kat, let me ask you, do you have a favorite video game spell?
Video game spell.
Defendo!
Flipendo!
Yeah, Flipendo. Yeah, that one's pretty awful.
Yeah, right.
Defendo, that's funny.
Terrence, your turn.
So my favorite one is Legilimens.
Good one.
Ooh.
Yes.
You have to be good at it. Again, doesn't work all the time.
It's great on dates.
It's not.
Figure out what's
So is Levicorp.
Exactly.
Incarcerous.
So, but for those of you that don't know, it allows the caster to delve into the mind of the victim, which is pretty awesome. You can just
walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Sorry, this is the part of the show where I sing.
Noah, why would you ever want to use that on a date? Because didn't you see What Women Want? That never works out right.
Yeah, but see, ever since I saw that, I just haven't had good luck. So if I know what they're thinking, I mean
it's a little bit of it's a help, Then you know if you just kind of walk away.
To quote a line from one of my favorite television shows of forever, it's a gift and a curse.
Oh,
what is
isn't
gift and a curse?
Legilimens too blunt though? Too obvious. Although
nonverbal.
People like Voldemort but you're forced to relive. Like Harry was reliving his memory, or was that only because
that's
he was
movie
trying
canon?
To resist?
That's movie canon.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it movie canon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Snape
Because-
totally reads his mind like 17 times throughout the series without us knowing.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
He has a sense. He feels the piercing stare, and you can.
It's
kind
his
of
Wizzy
imagine.
sense.
Like Dumbledore, yeah. Wizzy.
Kat, this isn't Alohomora.
I know. I'm sorry. I can't help it. It's like my favorite word ever.
So I mean, that's all I got about spells, and that does wrap up our discussion here for this week, for this long episode of Hogwarts Radio. All right, let's go ahead and get to a magical memory, and Eric's going to give that to us here. And Eric, this one's from Abby from Milwaukee.
Okay. Abby says, "Hi, Hogwarts Radio. I recently discovered you existed. Sorry. And as a 22-year-old who lives in a cubicle from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, you are the saving grace I needed from my workday. Has Harry Potter changed my life, you ask? I don't even know how to explain just how much it has. In fact, I wrote that sentence about 5 minutes ago, and I've been staring at my computer screen trying to answer it. Stream of consciousness begins now." Oh, it's nice for her to warn us. "The Harry Potter books taught me that love is worth fighting for. The easiest decision is not always the best decision. You're better off being okay and accepting of yourself than to try and be someone else that you are not. Sacrifice everything you have for your true friends. Do not be ashamed of who you are, where you came from, or what your family is like. You may think that your problems are the hardest, but there is always someone out there struggling just as much. Never be quick to judge. Always help those who need it. Be quirky, be weird, and be unique. Do not lose friendships over quarrels of things that do not matter. Treasure your relationships, your parents, your friends, your family, everything. Home is not necessarily the roof that is over your head, but where you feel most comfortable. Never forget where you came from. Seek adventure whenever and wherever you can. And most importantly, no matter how hard it is, always choose love." I think what has also hit me emotionally about this series is that though I'm becoming a grown-up, and have graduated college, received a degree, started my first full-time job, and live in a house by myself and my dog, that does not mean I can never be a kid again. The thing about Harry Potter is that it will never be gone. The story that reminds me of my childhood will always be there whenever I want to revisit, and that to me is a very comfortable thing. I am the most nostalgic person you will ever meet, and I most certainly do not want to grow up. As a photographer, I try to capture as many memories as possible in order to keep them from slipping away. But Joe's books have helped reassure me that I can always escape to that magical place called Hogwarts to go on an adventure and be a kid again. Thanks to Joe, I have been given the most incredible story, with the most real and down-to-earth advice that I have ever heard. Her stories all keep me grounded and reassure me that no matter what, all was well, or in our case, all is well. Thanks so much, Hogwarts Radio, for doing what you do.
Thank you so much, Abby, for that email. And you're right. Home is not necessarily the roof that's over your head, but where you feel most comfortable. And I think that I feel most comfortable here on Hogwarts Radio talking to the best friends that I could possibly ever have.
There will be a hugging session for 5 minutes.
We're going to get on Pottermore PlayStation and hug.
Yeah,
Oh, I wish you could hug people. I wish you could hug people.
Oh.
You will be able to.
You can robot next to people.
But if you have a magical memory of how either Hogwarts Radio or Harry Potter or both has affected your life, please send that in to us, share it with us, and we'll be more than happy to share it on the air here. Email it, staff@hogwartsradio.com. And it's about that time that we need to get out of here. Noah needs to go on his date, and we have some other
Hopefully
stuff.
where he doesn't cast a curse or a charm or spell.
Yes, no body binding curses, Noah. Please, I don't want to see you on the news.
I know.
You guys. But no, seriously, thank you so much to our guests, Kat and Noah, for being on. And guys, we need to do this more often. This was fun.
Yeah,
this was a good time, man.
I was going to say, please invite me on every single episode ever, anytime.
Don't say that because I actually will.
No, but I'm completely honest.
Oh, okay.
It's the most fun. So.
And we need someone who's going to disagree with Noah, so we need to bring Kat on.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's right.
No,
But guys, of course, we're involved with MuggleNet. Pretty much all of us here, and you guys have some other projects going on, right, Kat? You have another site that you're doing, Bibliofiend.
Oh yeah. Along with Caleb, who I mentioned before, is one of the other Alohomora hosts. We have this awesome new young adult and new adult fiction website. It's called Bibliofiend. So we cover all of the newest books that come out in that genre and the movies/TV shows that are made from them. So it's a super cool site. You guys should definitely check it out. We have pretty much giveaways every week. And it's awesome. Just check it out. You definitely should.
Great. Any other projects you're involved in, or how would people find you online?
How would they find me?
Yeah,
Oh boy.
yeah.
Well, I don't accept personal or non-personal friends on Facebook, but everyone can find me on Twitter. I'm at RubyWizard24. Ruby like the gem, or the name of my car. Wizard24. So you can find me there. I'm not on Tumblr, but Alohomora is on Tumblr, and that's at Alohomora MN. So
Yeah, definitely. And how can they? I mean, you guys have a site for Alohomora. Just, I mean, go to MuggleNet, and it's all there.
It's alohomora.mugglenet.com. We release bi-weekly podcasts. We discuss 2 chapters of the book and go in depth like literally never before. I mean, we talk about things like desk pigs. If you haven't heard about that, you should check that out.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Do mandrakes deserve a union?
I was on that episode where we started.
You were.
That.
Ghost nuns.
The Mandrake Liberation Front is living pretty strong. We're on Twitter at Mandrake Forever. They're generally fighting Pomona Sprout every single day because she's always trying to rustle up some trouble. But the Mandrakes always win out. You know, some are sacrificed along the way, but you have to lose a few Mandrakes to get back.
Yeah. And Noah, what are you doing now online? Like, how can people get a hold of you?
Well, I'm actually working on a personal website. It's really just my Tumblr page, creationstories.tumblr.com. And I plan on putting up a lot of my writing up there. I'm a creative writer. I'm working on a novel. I'm working on an elaborate Harry Potter fan fiction about Zacharias Smith, which is very exciting. But yeah, that would be the place. And of course, just to follow MuggleNet, because I try to post there as much as I can.
So, Eric, you're also staying really busy nowadays. You have a Game of Thrones podcast that you're doing, Game of Owns, some of our other friends.
And also on MuggleNet, I reinstated the caption contest.
You did.
Yes. Oh, I love the caption.
Noah, have you seen yet?
So proud of you, Eric.
Thank you. I know it was Noah's usherings behind the stage.
Eric, how many years has that been going on before it took a little bit of a break?
The 3-year hiatus, but otherwise it's been going on since 2002.
It was about 7 years, right?
No, but it's as long as I've been at MuggleNet.
Wow.
There you go.
Can I just say proudly, you're the only person who's now been at MuggleNet longer than me.
The heat is on. Yes, I guess that's true. Wow.
Yeah.
But,
and you have years on me because I'm going on 7 years and you just had 10, so you got years on me.
Hey, I got months on everybody else. One,
yeah, man.
To be exact.
Yeah, man.
But anyway, yes, I do want everybody here to check out the MuggleNet caption contest. By the way, I am tracking visitors, so I can see where you live. But
whoa! That was a promise, not a threat.
Did that not want to make you go visit? No. It's the MuggleNet caption contest is just a long running, and it's just fun with Harry Potter.
Yes.
We take a still from the films, and each week there's about 15 to 30 winners out of the thousands of entries submitted, and it's really just really a lot of time to just have fun. You just spend some time on the page, as people do, and read some captions and submit your own every week.
I love it.
On a weekly basis, runs Sunday to Sunday. Thank you very much. And I'd really love your guys' comments on what you thought of the opening week, but I want you all to be participating. I want to see emails from all of you too.
Yeah.
Submitting in, and the other thing is, if you guys do win, there's a special thing I do where at the end of each week I used to put the staff submissions. Again, only if they're funny, but it was separated and it's kind of like a leg in the door. So there you go.
That's great.
I would absolutely love to do that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yours would all be perverted, Noah.
That is absolutely true.
Sometimes that's acceptable.
It just depends, right? We'll be sure to plug that on the Hogwarts Radio Twitter account. And Marissa, I know that you're staying busy as well. You're getting ready to graduate, walk the stage.
I am.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Definitely
Thank
so.
you.
I'm graduating
excited.
Yeah. So
That's nice, Noah.
Nobody cares.
You had your time in the spotlight, Noah. I
did.
No. Marissa, how would people follow you online? You're on Twitter, right?
I am on Twitter at Marissa Kale.
Perfect. And guys, for Hogwarts Radio, you can also call in a question to the talkback line if you'd like to be a part of our voicemail segment.
Are you the one who took 218-20 magic?
No, I did not. I've been looking for that too. But
somehow somebody has it. I don't know who.
Nobody has it. If you call it, the line's dead.
Oh.
I thought somebody's squatting on it, surely.
Oh.
Yeah,
somebody
totally.
has the rights. And
Yeah.
If you're magical and you call it, it's you actually hear something. But I guess you guys aren't magical.
Yeah, to do that, if you're in the United States, go ahead and dial 1-210-888-0700. Again, that number will be working again by Sunday. Just trying to get a couple things worked out. And if you're in the UK, hey, we got a number for you as well. It's 020-8144-7121. Go ahead and Skype the username Hogwarts Radio as well. Leave us a message there if you'd like to. And make sure you visit our website, hogwartsradio.com, for a handy feedback form to contact any one of us, or just email us at our first names at hogwartsradio.com. We'll be sure to read your email right away and take about 2 to 3 months responding. I'm just kidding.
Terrence, did you get any messages recently from David Heyman?
You know what? David Heyman and I are not on good terms. Don't know why. I called him out on something. And
Oh, David. Come on.
Listen to our previous works for the details. Don't forget that HogwartsRadio.com also has a variety of community links to get more involved in. We have our Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, twitter.com/HogwartsRadio. And vote for us once a month over at Podcast Alley. That's right. That's still going.
Do they still do awards at Podcast Alley?
Podcast Awards. They do awards.
Kat, we should do that.
You know,
Yeah, totes.
we
Podcast
get
Alley.
nominated like every freaking year, but we don't get enough votes to win. So we're up there on the nomination page for like a year, and then, we're never a winner. So I'm like,
Didn't HR win one year?
we no, we got nominated. We've been nominated like 4 years in a row.
Well, congrats. It's still a good honor.
Oh, well, yes, very much so. Thank you to everybody that helped us get that far. Also, we came in second place, guys, in the Shorty Awards in the podcast category.
That's awesome.
PokeCast.
You gotta be kidding.
But that is all the time that we have for this week. Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. For Eric Skull, Marissa Reynolds, Kat Miller, Noah Freed, I'm Terrence Pinkston, and we will see you next time for episode 129.
Open the
Bye,
Dumbledore.
Oh, yeah.
Close the Dumbledore.
Open the Dumbledore again.
Who left the Dumbledore?
Let the Dumbledore.
Seriously. Do we live in a barn? Were you,
Let the Dumbledore out.
you born in a barn? Now I know it's just procrastinating going on there.
That was bloody brilliant.
Codswallop.